What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video we'll be talking about nested loops. In our last video we talked about nested conditional statements. This is basically the same thing. A nested loop is just a loop inside of another loop. And so let's get right into it. So just like nested conditional statements, we'll start with an outer loop. So for this example we'll be using a for loop. Let's just do for I in range 5, like we did in our loops video. Now with a nested loop, we're going to have an inner loop. So for I is the outer loop, and we'll do for j in range, let's just do 3. And we're going to print, let's just print, actually to see, to map what's going on, we'll print I and j. Okay. So what's it going to do? Well, first we're going to start with the outer loop. And so for I in range 0, so remember I starts at 0. For I in range 5, I is going to start at 0. So I is 0, it's going to move to this inner loop. And j is going to start at 0. So j is going to be 0, it's going to come back to the inner loop. J is going to be 1, back, 2, and then the inner loop is going to end, and it's going to go back to the outer loop. So now I is 1, it's going to keep doing that. So now j is 0, j is 1, j is 2. Inner loop ends, back to the outer loop, all the way to the outer loop ends. So to map this process, I'm printing I and j, and you'll see what I mean here. Right, show this. So look, I is 0, j is 0, I is 1, I is 0, j is 1, I is 0, j is 2, and then the inner loop ends, back out to the outer loop. I is 1, j is 0, I is 1, j is 1, I is 1, j is 2. So I hope you see this pattern. That's going to do whatever in the inner loop. So it's going to do the outer loop, whatever is in the inner loop, and until the inner loop ends, it's going to go back to the outer loop. It's going to do that all the way to the outer loop ends. So you may be wondering, why is this useful? Why will we use nested loops? Well, we may want to traverse or loop through something, or a group of elements like a list, which we'll talk about later. But you can also see that this may not be efficient. So in terms of optimization, say right now we're doing a very small example. This is what, 15 times we're looping. What if we wanted to do something like 1,000,000 times, for example? Well, this would be really slow. So there are ways that we can search for elements faster or loop through elements faster. So we'll talk about that later, but for now we're just doing the basics of nested loops, just to show you that it's possible. And this could be useful for some small looping. I wouldn't recommend this for something much larger, like I said, like 1,000,000 or even more. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And in the next video, we'll be talking about strings, which are very important, very important. So make sure to check that out, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.